Hi, and welcome to part 3 of our daily taking care video posts on mindful art, helping us to get through this difficult stay-at-home time. So today I want to talk about breathing, and such a simple thing, but why it's so important for our nervous systems. So we have two parts to our nervous system. We have our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system. And our sympathetic nervous system is engaged when we have some kind of a trigger, right, that makes us nervous or anxious or angry. And that starts to command our fight or flight or freeze response in our bodies. It increases our heart rate, our breathing might get faster. You might start to feel that panicky, anxious feeling, tight feeling in your chest. Your stress hormones start pumping. That cortisol is moving through your system. And all of that is a very primitive reaction to, long, long ago when we were cavemen faced with the lion or the tiger. And so anytime we feel that potential threat, our nervous system automatically goes into that sympathetic state. Our parasympathetic system controls our rest and our relax and our digest state, those responses in our body. So anytime we can utilize a tool that we already have built into our natural everyday life, like breathing, to engage the parasympathetic nervous system to reduce stress, it's really helpful because it's right there at our fingertips. But it actually requires a lot of mindfulness. And I'm going to show you a tool that you can make for yourself or maybe with your kids, with your family. They're really fun and they often get turned into lots of other types of art projects after you make them. But I like to use them to demonstrate how to engage our parasympathetic nervous system through what we call timed breathing. So that is usually holding the exhale, stretching out the exhale of your breathing twice as long as your inhale. So for instance, if I were to inhale for the count of 2, 1, 2, I would hold it, and then I would actually count 4 on my exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pause. So I'm doubling the exhale to the time I'm inhaling, the amount of time I'm inhaling. So we're going to make a little accordion type project to demonstrate what our diaphragm is doing when we're breathing in that timed way and engaging our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to be doing what we call diaphragmatic breathing. So really simple materials that you all have around your house: a roll of tape, a glue stick, some scissors, and any kind of construction paper or white paper that you can cut up into 1-inch wide strips. I'm going to tilt my camera down now, so you're going to see mostly my hands moving, but I'm going to demonstrate how to put together your origami breathing spring. And what you're going to do first is take 4 of your strips and line them up to make 2 longer strips. Take a piece of tape to connect them on both sides. So I'm going to turn that over, and now I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back side of this as well. The next step is to take my I now have 2 long strips of paper, and connect them into an L shape. This is the part that's getting a little bit tricky with my computer screen here. I'm going to flip this up over the top of the screen so you can see that right here I'm put the two corners together of my long strips to create a large L shape. And I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on the other side as well. Now for the fun part. Lots of folding. Here's the origami part. Doesn't really matter which direction you start, but you're always going to be folding the strip of paper that is underneath, in this case it's the blue, over the top. So it's a little bit cumbersome when you start out, and if you're doing this with children, this is where you might want to help. And you're going to take each piece and just continue folding right over the top, making sure that you fold the crease right at the edge of the piece of paper underneath it. So I just have a little method where I keep, whoops, we covered the camera there, where I keep turning my paper and folding over. So I'm going to skip forward like they do in cooking shows to a half-baked, a half-done origami spring, so you can start to see how it takes shape. Let me get the big guy out of the way there. So now I've done some folding. I still have my two pieces of paper, and I guess I'll just note that I chose a piece of white paper and a piece of blue paper because those are very calming colors for me. But what you might also do is get your markers out and maybe doodle or write some words if you only have, let's say, white printer paper at home right now. Maybe you want to color this. Maybe your children want to color rainbows or flowers or faces of friends or something that, you know, is something that reminds them of being calm. So I'm going to finish this origami spring up. So I'm just going to keep my folding technique going. I'm moving a little faster now for the sake of our video here, so my folds are not totally perfect, but again, and it doesn't have to be super perfect, but it does help if you get the creases right where the paper covers there. So I'm almost at the end, and inevitably you have one piece of paper that's a little bit longer than the other. I'm going to move my camera back up at this point just so I can show you this finished product. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off that extra tail. So now I still have an end here that I need to attach. I'm just going to fold this little piece over, and I can either use my glue stick at this point, but because of the size of this little flap, it's just easy enough to stick a little piece of paper, or I'm sorry, a little piece of tape over the top. And now you have an origami breathing spring. So I'm just going to do a short practice with you of the diaphragmatic timed breathing. And when I say diaphragmatic, that means we're really breathing from way down low in our belly where our diaphragm is. We're not breathing up here from our throat or from our chest, which is generally where we breathe when we're panting or panicked or stressed, or maybe we've just exercised. We're really going down to the lower muscles in the belly to engage the diaphragm. And again, this is helps us to engage our parasympathetic nervous system, to activate our vagus nerve, to start calming the nerves in our body. So we're going to breathe. We're going to start with the 2-1-4-1 timed breathing. So we're going to breathe in for 2, hold for 1, and breathe out for 4. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the origami breathing spring just kind of reminds us of the pacing of the breathing. You can really use this for any kind of breathing technique for those of you that are practicing breathing techniques. It's a visual to help us notice how our body's moving when we're breathing, a visual of what our diaphragm is doing, expanding and contracting during breathing. And also just really fun to play with. So my kids actually love to then take these and turn them into like little pop-up cards, little pop-up characters on them. So maybe there's an extended use for you. So I hope you can find some more calm in your breathing practice, making some origami springs, and please keep checking in on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel for a daily taking care video post from Create Community Studios.